Alright, I'm back. Alright. That was an epic fail. That was an epic fail. What's going on, everybody? Now I know that we live. Alright, we live. That's all. I was gonna ask you to make sure that we live.
Yeah.
Make sure everything good. How's it look? We good? We good?
We good.
Okay. Alright. What's going on, everybody? We're back here with another episode, another live stream of Nerd Talk. We're gonna be talking about a lot of things going on in the news of movies, Nerd Talk, everything. It's been a long week for movie news. I got a couple items I want to talk about. I want to talk about obviously the Star Wars trailer. I want to talk about Creed 2, who's directing Creed 2. I want to talk about, what else? What else just recently? Oh, the problem with the MCU's timeline. That's a big thing I want to talk about. Me and John got a lot of things to talk about that. A new Blu-ray release that's supposedly coming in the future. And just some other things I probably want to pop out as well. We're just thinking things off the top of our head. What you want to start with? Let's go ahead and start with the Star Wars trailer. I absolutely loved it. I probably already watched it about 6 times. We just recently watched it before we started the live stream. And man, I'm ready for this movie, man. December can't come fast enough. Don't release no more. No more. This is the last one. That's the one thing I give Star Wars, that they don't release a lot of trailers. They keep us hidden. We don't know a lot of stuff. So I don't want to see no more. We're gonna dive into it. We're gonna be going through the review of each scene in the trailer. The trailer starts off basically. We shows off with Ren. Actually, we give a speech from Snoke talking about Kylo. If I'm not mistaken, how he's seen that he was gonna be dark and everything, and then we see Ren is talking to Luke, and Luke is he's kind of scared. Someone pointed out a meme where Yoda told Luke in Empire, he said, "I'm not afraid," and what Yoda said, "You will be, you will be." And I think right now he sees Yoda was right, because he sees that when a young Jedi or anyone has Force powers, they can go to the dark side, and that's probably what he sees in Ren and Rey, obviously because what happened to Kylo.
Right.
I'm just ready to see. I'm ready to see Captain Phasma get some more things going on in this one. She looked like she's gonna have a fight with Finn. What's going on?
That fight looked epic.
Is Finn gonna be in the New Order? Or is he gonna be a spy or something like that? Cause what's going on?
I think that he is gonna be a spy, just to piggyback what he was doing in Force Awakens.
Right.
Because he was, obviously a stormtrooper, but he was reluctant. If anybody would be a spy, it would be him,
right?
Because he already knows the in and outs of the First Order. So I think he's gonna be a spy in some sort of movie. Maybe not the whole movie,
right?
But at least probably in like the second act or something.
This one, I don't think it's gonna be much of a war film. I think more is gonna be it's gonna be more Rey becoming a Jedi.
Yeah.
And we're gonna see Kylo do some bad things, but I just think it's gonna be more about. I really want them to focus more on Rey, even though we did get a lot of Rey in the last movie. But I really want them to focus on this because a lot of people are questioning how long do it take to train a Jedi. Because
I think it depends on the Jedi.
Exactly. I was gonna get to that point. I really want them to show that it is dependent on the person, how much force they have how much ability they have with the force. That's how it's it determines how you're gonna be a Jedi or not. Cause same thing with Luke. Luke really didn't know that much of the Force. He learned basically within if you really want to be right, it's like within a year if you want to be certain. Yeah. Because after Empire, he fought Darth Vader again, and that's it. I mean, Return of the Jedi. That's more like a year apart in the universe. So I really want them to focus on that. I really want them to focus on Kylo 2 becoming more dark and stuff like that. That's what I really hope they do go with this one. Let's talk about the end of the trailer, man, where Rey's talking about she was someone that you put in a place and you see Kylo put his hand out. Do you think that's the exact same scene, man, or do you think that's misleading, man? Because trailers can be misleading.
I do think it's misleading. I think that at some point in the movie, Rey will be unsure of herself in the regards that she is going to have all this power and not know what to do with it. That she really want to be a Jedi. and because she's in that gray area, Kylo Ren will be a little bit appealing to her.
Right, because obviously in the Force Awakens, he said that to her. So I can show you how to use your power. I can show you how to use it. Right,
and Kylo, he can empathize with Rey, which is something that a lot of villains don't have, which is empathy.
Right.
This is what sets him apart from other villains. He has empathy.
And Darth Vader.
Right.
Like, this makes him different from Darth Vader. Because everybody thought, oh, he's going to be another Darth Vader. No, this is what difference him, because he's actually a human. Right. Darth Vader is not fully human. He has a lot of robotic. Obviously, what you said in the last lecture, he's more of a robot than he is a human. Right. You know, he doesn't really have. He's basically a straightforward character. Kylo Ren isn't like that. He has a lot of emotions.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that Kylo Ren is a very emotional villain, and you don't really see that from other villains, whether it be in a superhero movie or an action or a drama. Just most of the villains are straightforward. With Kylo Ren, you see a range of maybe 3 or 4 different emotions within The Force Awakens and this trailer.
Yeah, I love the scene in the trailer where he's it looked like he's gonna attack the ship that his mom is on, and the way he looks on his face is like he wants to do it so bad, but I don't think he's gonna do it, obviously. But the way he looks, he's so reluctant, where it's like, I have to do this, but I really can't, because I still have that little part of a life.
I think somebody else is gonna do it.
You think so?
I think he's gonna.
So you think Leia's gonna die in this movie?
Yes, I think Leia's gonna die in this movie.
So she's the one gonna die, because I always think it's gonna be Luke, but I think Leia's gonna be the one to die instead of Luke.
I think Leia's gonna be the one to die. I think how they're gonna set it up is Kylo is gonna get ready to do it, and right before he does it, he has a second thought, and in that second thought, somebody else destroys the ship that she's on.
That makes sense. I see that coming.
And then like you'll see the look on his face, like, I almost killed my mother, or man, I wish I could have killed my mother.
Yeah, you should have did it. Could have put it to the dark side. I'm ready to see. I'm just ready to see this, man. I'm just ready. I'm just hyped, man. Obviously, I got a Star Wars T-shirt on. I was ready. I'm just ready, man. I'm so ready, bro. You just don't understand, man. Even like when The Force Awakens come out, like, I was hyped, but I'm like, I'm ready to see after The Force Awakens. I got a feeling exactly what they were gonna do. They were gonna set it up, get us back in the groove, make us feel like it's Star Wars again, and then I'm ready to see what they're doing after the fact. I'm ready to see what they're doing in the future, other than just getting us back into it. Because set up all the characters. Now we know all the characters. Let's go ahead and grow with these characters. I really feel like they're really doing some shit. They're gonna put her through some shit.
Yeah, you could tell they're really doing something different than what they did with the last movies. Because with The Force Awakens, everybody already knows this, but they basically remade A New Hope just for a different generation. They had the same character model and the same plot outline, just minor details were changed, and obviously the names and genders of the characters were changed, but obviously Rey is Luke, and what is his name?
Poe.
Poe is Han. So in that regard, I think because they set up the future of the franchise by essentially doing a very, very soft reboot. They have the potential to do whatever they want.
Exactly.
And that's made evident in these last 2 trailers. This is going to be very different from any other Star Wars movie that we've seen. Much like Rogue One, there's no other Star Wars movie like Rogue One. Rogue One is probably the most realistic Star Wars movie I've ever seen. Like, I could see Rogue One happening.
Yeah, definitely. It's not even that. Just that sets apart from all the different Star Wars movies, just because it feels so different. But like, you can watch them in the same order though as well. You can watch within middle of Revenge of the Sith and New Hope. Yeah, I'm just ready for it, man. I'm just ready to see what they're gonna do with these characters. I hope they don't end in the cliffhanger, because it's gonna be too obvious. Because the second one ended the cliffhanger. Yeah. I really just want it to be a complete film, so we don't be left. Because obviously, I say New Hope left us in the cliffhanger, but technically not. That was a finished story.
Yeah, it it was a complete story, and obviously it leads into the next film, but it didn't like you said, it didn't feel like a cliffhanger per se. It didn't feel like Matrix Reloaded, Matrix Revolutions. Obviously, that was one complete story told in two parts, but the first Matrix and the second Matrix,
those are two separate
stories.
Even though technically it ends like, oh yeah, there's more to come.
Yeah, you know there's more to come, but they the way they did it was it gave you closure. And if we didn't get another movie, it would have been okay.
Obviously, we're gonna get more Star Wars movies. Right. They're gonna give a Star Wars movie every year. Because after this was the Han Solo movie. After this, and then this episode
10.
No, this is episode 9. But I'm ready for this. I'm very hyped for it. This is definitely a day one scene. I definitely got to see a day one. Yeah, man. I'm not wearing no costume, though. I know that much. Just go ahead and wear it. It's gonna be December. That's the only thing I hate, that these movies are coming out in December. I can't really wear a shirt. I gotta wear a damn hoodie. Or I gotta wear a jacket. I'm missing being in the summer. I think the original trilogy came out in the summer. They making these all winter movies now.
Yeah, Christmas.
I think it's better for these to come out because this is basically a special time.
I was gonna say with Marvel doing what Marvel has taken over the summer. The summer
besides Thor.
Yeah, the summer officially belongs to Marvel because they kick it off with Iron Man, and then whatever Avenger movie comes out, comes out the next year, or Guardians.
Right.
What else?
Captain America when Captain America was out.
Captain America will always come out in June or July. Right in time for Independence Day. Iron Man would always come out in May. The Avengers movies would always come out in May. Guardians of the Galaxy, they went from August to May, but from May to about beginning of September belongs to Marvel.
Yeah, and it's funny because that's Disney too. So
yeah,
I figured they wouldn't want to put two of their biggest properties in the
same.
That's
month. Exactly what I was gonna say.
But that's the only thing I understand is I'm a fan of both. I'm gonna go see both.
Yeah,
it's not that's more money for them. They obviously getting the same amount of money regardless of when it comes out. I'm gonna go see both regardless. The same thing like the whole DC and Marvel thing when they said Batman vs Superman and Civil War's coming on the same day. I would go see both. I'm going to see both back to back. I mean, I'm gonna just be there for 5 hours, obviously, but I'm gonna go see both. They're not missing no money. It just depends on which one I'm going to see first.
Right.
And that's the whole thing. But that's the only thing is I just wish there was summer movies more because this is seem more of a summer thing, big blockbuster thing. But it's okay in the December too. It's okay in the holiday time. More for Christmas, holidays,
Right.
Ain't got no Christmas movie. You got Star Wars.
Yeah.
What's next on the agenda?
MCU timeline.
MCU time. Let's talk about the MCU timeline. There's a whole big article. I guess at New York Comic Con, someone came up to Kevin Feige and came up to him and said, "Kevin, in Spider-Man: Homecoming, he said it's 8 years after the events. Obviously, you see if you've seen the movie, it says 8 years later. Basically, the events of Civil War take place 8 years after Avengers, when technically the year in Avengers 2012. It says it in the fucking news. I think on the news you see the date in the news.
Yeah.
So that kind of makes no sense. And
when they showed that on the screen in the theater, there was a collective what?
Yeah. I got kind of confused a little bit too. I'm like, damn. So you telling me? Let's go ahead and get. I want to give out my outlook of the time, how I feel like. Okay, let's say, because even Happy said I've been holding this ring since 2008. Okay, let's say Iron Man, Incredible Hulk. Remember, you've always said this. All those movies take place at the same time.
Yeah, the
first phase.
The Phase 1 movies, they all take place
all
at the same time.
Because the footage, besides Captain America, but all the other films take place in the same time because obviously Iron Man 2 and Thor are in the same time because Coulson goes to Incredible Hulk. Yep. Coulson goes to New Mexico and see the hammer.
Yeah.
In the exact same timeline.
Yeah, right after
Iron Man 2. Because he
2,
tells him he got to go to
the Southwest region. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So we know all those movies take place at the same time, and obviously, I don't think it takes over a year to get to Avengers. I think Avengers happens right after that. Mm-hmm. So if you really want to be sure, I think Avengers probably is in like 2008. Like you want to put the real timeline, I would say Avengers take place 2008.
Well, see,
besides 2012.
When was the first Iron Man? That's gonna be the discrepancy.
Right. 2008.
Okay. So the first Iron Man and the rest of Phase 1.
Right.
There has to be years in between the first Iron Man and the second Iron Man.
Yeah, because but
it can't be too many.
But that's what I'm saying. I can't see it being that long. I can't see it being that long because Tony's that smart. He'll know what he's doing with his suit.
So my guess is they'll retcon it like this. Iron Man, the first Iron Man will have taken place maybe like 06.
Yeah, they'll probably push it back. They'll push
and
it.
then phase one starts in 08.
Right.
And maybe the Avengers will be 08, maybe 09.
Right. Yeah, that's the only thing they can do it because it didn't really take. If they really want to make Spider-Man Homecoming really make sense, they have to do that.
Yeah, it would be 2009 because 8 years after 2009 is this year.
Right.
So yeah, it would be 2009.
Because I don't understand why they okay. I think that was a Sony thing. That was a Sony thing. Sony would seem like they would do something like that. I don't see because they rarely put dates on movies unless they're going back into the past, like they show like in Civil War the events when spoiler alert, when Winter Soldier killed Tony Stark's parents. They showed the year, but that's only because it was a flashback. It didn't take place in present day.
And you know what? It makes sense because if that little kid is supposedly Peter Parker,
exactly.
Like Tom, I guess Tom Holland confirmed it. That little kid will have to be 7.
Right. Because he's 15 and it's Homecoming. He says he's 15.
Yeah.
So that would make if Kevin Feige saying, okay, well, we'll roll with that, obviously, with the little kid in Iron Man 2. So let's say in my opinion, I'll say Iron Man 2 and Iron Man 1 at least has to be 6 months at least.
Right. That's
6 months at least between the two films.
That's where the discrepancy comes in. They gotta determine exactly how much time is in between Iron Man 1 and Iron Man 2. If
the only reason why I say that is because at the end of Iron Man 1, at the end credit scene of Iron Man 1, Nick Fury comes and says, "You think you're the only superhero in the world?" Think about it. He knows about Cap. He knows about Thor. He knows about these other beings. And obviously he's talked about Black Widow and Hawkeye as well.
I don't know about Thor. So he may not have known about Thor. I think
how Coulson called him and say I found it.
That's in Iron Man 2 though.
Right.
At the end of unless that post credit scene takes place well after the movie.
Right, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. The time. That's what I'm saying. That's why I know
because
it hasn't been that much time between the films.
Right, because even though there aren't what was I going to say? Even though there are heroes in the world at the time of Iron Man, he's just the first public one, I guess. That doesn't mean that it's all of the
main Avengers.
Founding Avengers.
Right.
Because Thor could still be on Asgard.
Exactly.
Obviously, Black Widow and Hawkeye they still exist. Whether they're known as superheroes or not is up for debate. Captain America is still frozen at this time.
Right.
So he's got to be talking about like Black Panther, Captain Marvel, because that takes place in the 90s.
Yep.
So he has to be. I think that he will be mentioning those, and
I think Kevin's gonna wait to do the timeline when Captain Marvel comes up. That's when he's gonna wait to bring up the timeline because what date we have then, that's when he'll do it. That's when.
You think he's gonna wait that long?
Captain Marvel comes out next year?
Yeah.
I think he'll wait. I think he can give us a whole.
I was gonna say I thought he might release it after Thor Ragnarok.
I can give it Thor.
Yeah.
Thor would probably be a good time. But I'm just saying because since we know it already take place in 90, maybe that's not good. Maybe he should do it by when Thor comes out.
Because they confirmed for Thor to take place 2 years after Age of Ultron.
Okay, and that'll be a good time. And we need to know exactly when Age of Ultron is, and that's how we'll know the I'm ready for Thor, man, too. I recently watched the first trailer that we got, and I'm like, I'm ready for it, man. I don't need to see no other trailers after that first trailer. I ain't need to see no more, man, for real. Seeing the Hulk come out that first time, I lost my mind, bro. I lost my mind, bro. I really did. But yeah, and what you said is that we can't give Marvel a lot of credit for what they did for the universe, because obviously some retcon, obviously some
that's just
some plot holes that they need to solve. Obviously the timeline.
That's just proof that they don't plan everything out.
No.
Because like I said, this is not the first time that they retconned the timeline. They recently released that there was a conversation between Joss Whedon and Kevin Feige that they purposely didn't show Hulk going into space at the end of Age of Ultron because they didn't want people to think that there was going to be a Planet Hulk movie.
Right.
I mean, obviously people thought that anyway, but they didn't want to put any evidence in the movie that there was going to be a Planet Hulk movie. And then, lo and behold, Hulk shows up in Thor Ragnarok, which takes place on another planet. So they had to retcon that. Okay, he actually did go into space. So, like I said, this isn't the first time that they've retconned their timeline. Marvel just gets a little bit too much credit for planning things out. Like I said, I do think that they execute their plan well, and they do have a good 75-80% of their movies planned out. But this whole timeline issue just goes to show that not everything is planned out. Some of the stuff is coincidence.
Yeah, something like I think they weren't gonna do Civil War. The only reason why they did Civil War because Batman v Superman was happening. Right. You know, they just put that out. Okay, everyone's doing the versus thing. They might as well do Civil War. Right. Obviously it worked out, and it worked out for the better.
Right. And Civil War wasn't even Civil War. It was only Civil War in name. Like the story was completely different.
They just took certain elements and just made it.
Right, they
call it Civil War.
Yeah,
you know. They changed it from being shown identity to the Sokovia Accords, and
right.
You know, superheroes have to everyone knows the identity of superheroes besides Spider-Man.
It was more of a battle than a war, because in the comic it was a war, but they scaled it down to being in the airport. But yeah.
Kevin Feige will come out with something. He'll retcon it again. We'll figure out this whole timeline thing. I just think we hold it too much. Someone just I was watching somebody else talk about something. They said, I just feel like when I watch the movie, that's when it takes place. When I watch the movie, that's when it takes place. Like when I was watching Spider-Man, okay, it takes place 2017. I didn't think, or it took. So that's the only thing when they say it takes place 2 months after, not a year after.
Well, see, that's the thing. Kevin Feige also said that you can't watch the MCU like that just because it takes place
the movie releasing that day
was released in 2017 doesn't mean it takes place in 2017.
Right.
Because obviously movies take time to make, so they could have it in their head to have it take place in 2018, but then stuff happens and it doesn't get released until 2019. So they have to keep the years ambiguous, but they have to keep the timeline intact, which is not easy, as you can see, because they're retconning it.
Because they always add stuff. Obviously, I don't think when they announced Captain Marvel, I'm sure they just think, oh, we're gonna put it in the 90s. I'm sure they just thought, okay, let's just trying to spice it up a little bit and change it up. Not just throw her in there. Let's make her she's already known who she is. Because everyone knows, well, where has she been all this time? So I guess we're gonna figure it out when the movie comes out.
Now, because it takes place in the 90s, 20 years ago, it's Is Captain Marvel showing up in Infinity War, or is she showing up in Avengers 4?
I think she shows up in Infinity 4. I don't think she shows up in.
Okay.
I think.
So I was gonna say, how are they gonna?
I think Infinity War is before Captain Marvel. No. Yeah, I think Infinity War is before Captain Marvel, if I'm not mistaken. I think Captain Marvel is after Infinity War. Okay. I think she shows up in Avengers 4.
Because I remember when they first announced Infinity War, that was gonna be her debut.
In Infinity War?
Yeah. But
if anything, she's gonna be in credit scene.
Yeah, I don't know. She'll change that.
She'll be in credit scene if anything. I don't think they already got. Not saying that they got too many heroes, but I just think adding her in. I think she needs to be in. I don't think she needs to be in Infinity War. I think I would rather her. If anything, her be in credit scene, leading into that, and then have her.
Because I really, like you said, I think it's gonna be jam packed because you can already tell like what the storyline is basically gonna be the Guardians versus the Avengers, and then they finally come together in the third act.
Yep. So do you think the Guardians gonna show up on Earth?
That's a good question.
Or do you think like that's the only thing?
Are the Guardians gonna be on Earth, or are the
right.
Avengers gonna go to space? Is the question. I think it's gonna be a little bit of both.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be mostly in space, though. I don't think we're gonna spend much time.
It's gonna be more like they're gonna be able to transport too, like a Doctor Strange, then they'll be able to walk through a portal to go to like that. Because obviously they have Doctor Strange out there, so he can easily just open up a portal for them to go to another dimension, another planet, whatever.
Right.
So, my thoughts on this whole thing are just, like what you did. Let's not watch these movies thinking, oh, this time. Just watch it as a movie, not thinking about the time. Because most people try to think more about it. Like,
I mean, you can think about the time, but don't try to. It doesn't necessarily have to take place in the year that you're watching it in, because we get prequels and sequels all the time.
Right.
What makes Marvel movies?
The only way it makes sense is when they tell us it's the time that it takes place. Obviously, Iron Man takes place 2008 because they keep saying. Right. Even in Civil War, what did Vision say? Since you announced your thing 8 years ago, everything changed. And he said 8 years ago from that when Civil War happened. So and it takes place 8 years, 2008 from 2016. So it makes sense when he said that. And that's when it was confusing when.
Now, maybe, I don't know if there were any specific dates thrown around in Homecoming, but maybe Homecoming doesn't take place in 2016. Maybe it takes place in 2015 or 16.
Right. Obviously, but it said it take place in 2016 because obviously it's 2 months after the events of Civil War.
Yeah. And was Civil War confirmed to be in 2016?
If you want to line up the time when Vision says when you revealed your identity 8 years ago.
So we know that Homecoming takes place 2 months after Civil War.
Right, because they said when he was recording this video, it said after he said we'll call you, it says 2 months later.
Right.
So it's not even that far along from
So this. Pretty much at the same time.
Exactly.
So the question is, when does Civil War take place?
Right. That's the question. Because even like I said, I just go back to that line when Vision says when you revealed your identity as Iron Man 8 years ago. He says that in the Civil War. He tells everybody that when they're having a conversation about Sokovia Accords.
Oh, so he specifically said 8 years.
Yeah, he said 8 years. Because that's 2008. That's when Iron Man came out, 2008.
Okay. So did they say that Homecoming took place 8 years after Avengers?
Exactly.
Oh, now I see the confusion.
Right.
Yeah, you gotta fix that, Kevin.
Right. And the only way it can work if everything takes place in 2008. That's the only way it works. If the first phase is all in the same year.
Yep.
That's the only way it works.
Yeah.
And that's what I said. I said, like you said.
With the exception of the first Iron Man.
Exactly. Yeah. We can't watch, like what you just said, we can't watch the movies thinking it takes place in that year. Think about it. You can say the whole first phase take place in the same year, besides Captain America, because he's obviously a period piece.
Mm-hmm.
But then when he awakens, when he gets unfrozen, that can still be in the same timeline. Can still be in that 2008 2009. Because I would say I would at least give it a year. I would say Avengers take place a year, at least.
A year after.
Iron Man.
All the other phase 1 movies. Yeah.
At least a year after, at least. I would give it a year, or at least 6 months.
That's what I would like. Like in between Iron Man and Iron Man 2 would be a year to a year and a half. In between Iron Man 2, Thor, Incredible Hulk, and
Captain America. No, first Avengers.
Yeah, the Avengers. So in between those three
all
movies...
those can take place in the same time.
Yeah, all those can take place at the same time. But in between those three movies and the Avengers would be a year.
Mm-hmm.
So that whole span...
Iron Man 2, Incredible Hulk, Thor, and Avengers, they all in the same time.
Yeah, so that's 1 year in itself. There's a year gap in between those three movies and the first Avengers. So from Iron Man 1 to the Avengers should be a total of 3 years.
Right.
No more than 4.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that sounds like it works.
Yeah, now you understand what you saw it that way. Now you see that's why people are getting so confused. Cause like, okay, so that means, cause technically,
I mean, I was never one to think that movie, that whatever movie you saw, or whenever you saw that movie,
it took place
took place at that
mm-hmm.
time. Cause like when they established. Well, not established, but
it's only different when they pick up right after the first movie.
Yeah.
Like only reason why I say Iron Man 2, where Whiplash is watching the broadcast of Iron Man, watching him reveal his identity. Do they give a time jump? I think they give a time jump from them. I think they say a time jump.
They say a specific
I think they say a specific time, I think. I have to rewatch it. I think they show a time because after the credits they show a certain time, and then that's when Iron Man jumps out of the plane and do his little exploit. Mm-hmm. I think there's a time from there. I think.
Wait, you're right.
I have to go back and watch it. I have to go back and watch it.
Oh man, drop that in the comments if you know what that time stamp is. I think it's like 6 months.
Yes. Okay, then it makes sense then. Did it make sense then, bruh?
Okay.
Did it make sense now? Right. So maybe we just over exaggerate. maybe we just not following the timeline.
That's what people.
Maybe he's not wrong. Maybe Kevin's not wrong. Maybe he put that there. He's not wrong.
Maybe he does know what he's doing.
Cause, like you said, you could literally watch Iron Man 2, Thor, and Avengers. Even Incredible Hulk. You can watch Incredible Hulk after or before Iron Man 2, and it still works. You can say that they take place in the same time. Cause Iron Man goes to him and says, I'm making up a team. That could be within the 6 month time frame.
Indeed.
So now that makes sense. I gotta go back and watch Iron Man 2 now to think about that. Now I gave me a reason to watch it. That's a movie I probably won't go back and watch. Iron Man 2. Now I gotta go back and watch it now. Shit,
I'll go back and watch any of them with the exception of Thor the Dark World.
Yeah, Thor 2 is definitely.
I've only seen that movie once.
The only reason why I watch it because the ether is in there. That's an Infinity Stone. That's the only reason to watch it.
But there were some really good scenes, like the scene when
the beginning when he's fighting on the planet. It's not Uranheim, is it? I forgot what the planet is. But the first scene when he shows up, that's a good scene. Yeah, that takes out the big rock monster and be like, anyone else? That's a good scene. Yeah,
that's a good scene. When Loki finds out that his mother died, that's a great scene. That's probably
any
my
stuff
favorite.
With Loki is the best.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
Loki wasn't supposed to be in the movie. He was supposed to be in the movie. They added him in. He wasn't supposed to be in.
Yeah, that's because he got so much love from the Avengers.
You definitely feel like his scenes were added on.
And that I like the end of the movie. That fight between him and Was it Malekith?
Malekith, yeah.
I like that fight between Thor and Malekith. But yeah, I've only seen that movie once, and I recently rewatched the MCU, and I skipped that one.
You skipped it. That's the one you can skip. If I had to go through which movies to skip, so I couldn't say Captain America because I like the first Captain America.
It grew on me.
I watched it and I'm like, oh, this is not that bad as as it was, you know.
Yeah.
It's one of the lower MCU movies. It's a really important movie to watch.
It's very important,
especially if you want to know about more of Bucky. The reason why Captain America feels for Bucky so much because they was really good friends. So, Thor will be one to skip. I recently just saw Guardians, but I probably wouldn't watch that again.
The first one?
The second one.
The second one, yeah.
That's the one you probably can skip too. I enjoyed
I know.
I'm not saying it's a bad movie. I enjoyed the hell out of it. And I got choked up at the end. I did get choked up at the end. Cause I did like Yondu more now than I did the first one. But out of all the MCU movies that had anything to do with the Infinity War, I can skip that one.
Yeah, I know I'm gonna get a lot of flack for this, but Volume 2 is overrated.
I can give you that.
I like Volume 2, but they spent a lot of time on Planet Ego doing nothing.
Yes. I was watching it and I'm like, I wanted to go back to Rocket so bad.
Yeah.
His stuff with him and Groot and Yondu was so much better than them on Ego.
They didn't do anything.
Drax had nothing to do. And then when Nebula came, it didn't really help. That scene between her and Gamora was okay, but it didn't do anything. It didn't do anything at all. That's when they found out all the children did, all the bones. That's when that part was. That's when we get to basically the end. But I feel on that one. I think it is overrated. And that's probably why I had to rush out to buy it. Cause I
still don't have it.
I had a feeling when I watched it on the Fire Stick. When I watched it, I said, I see why I don't own it yet. Cause I will get Spider-Man before I get Guardians. And I recently watched Spider-Man. I highly enjoyed it. I was laughing. I was like,
Homecoming better than
I already watched it like 3 times already since I had the Fire Stick. And I'm like, oh yeah. I only watched Guardians once. And I feel like I would not go back and watch that film.
I agree.
Because nothing there.
I'll watch it again eventually. Just like I'm sure that I'll watch Thor: The Dark World eventually. But it's nothing. Like I've never been in a mood to watch Thor: The Dark World.
The only thing I say about Thor is that it had no build up. The first trailer was okay when I first saw it. I'm like, the trailer looked cool. But after when I was watching it again, I'm like, it felt as no build up to something raw. It don't feel like it's something like with Guardians, it's nothing to go back to. Like Iron Man 1, like
even Iron Man 3. Sometimes I get in a mood to watch Iron Man 3, and that's I won't say it's considered the worst one, but that movie gets a lot of flack.
The dynamic that Tony goes through really makes you want to watch it.
Yeah.
It's post-traumatic stress. He doesn't know if he wants to be Iron Man anymore. His relationship with Pepper is going like, man, he got a lot of things going on that makes you want to watch it. Half the time he doesn't even have his damn suit in that movie.
Definitely something that they gotta explain. Why does he destroy all his suits, decide to not be Iron Man, and then he shows up as Iron Man in Age of Ultron? Why is that a thing?
People misconstrued that line because at the end he says, "I am Iron Man." Technically, that means he's not done. He's not done. He's not done. He's never been done. Why do you think he takes some of his equipment with him? If he was truly done, he wouldn't take none of his stuff with him. He wouldn't have put nothing in his pocket. He wouldn't have said he was Iron Man at the end of the movie. So clearly saying he was not done.
You're right.
That just means his arc of him growing into the man he wants to be is done.
Okay.
I
didn't think of it like that.
Basically the childish, kiddish. That's why he's the way he is. Even in Spider-Man, he's more of an adult than he's ever been in that movie. Obviously, because Spider-Man's a kid, he has to be that father.
Even though he was completely irresponsible in Spider-Man,
he's the reason why.
He is the cause of that whole movie. If he had just listened.
But he said he listened. He said, that's why you think I brought the FBI. That wasn't enough, yo. That wasn't enough. We needed Iron Man there. We didn't need the fucking FBI. That makes no sense. You know, why you gotta call the FBI? Bruh, you're Tony Stark. You had the phone call to the Avengers. This is a guy in a flying costume like you.
Peter said, he was like, I need your help. I can't handle this. Call the Avengers. He was like, no, I'm good. No.
Yeah, that's enough of that, man. Oh, there's something else. Did you see the X-Men New Mutants trailer?
No, I didn't. I heard it was really good.
It's more of a horror thing.
Yeah.
It's a horror thing X-Men movie, bro.
Yeah.
It's about basically these new mutants that are locked in this psychiatric type, I think hospital or something like that, and they're putting through these trials where they're trying to learn their powers, but they're very
reluctant.
It's very like more of a psychiatric thriller more than it is a horror film. But they do have horror jump. You watch the trailer, it's a lot of. It feel like there's a lot of jump scares.
It's more of a psychological.
When I was watching, like this is not X-Men. They just do this. This is not X-Men, but they say it's X-Men. It's X-Men. They say once they say mutants, like oh yeah, it's X-Men.
Well, that's the thing. Because I used to read New Mutants when I was younger. I haven't read New Mutants in years. But the difference between the Uncanny X-Men or the main X-Men and the New Mutants was that the New Mutants were a little more angsty because they were young. They were teenagers.
I'm gonna show you the trailer that we don't watch because I think you are gonna like it. You are gonna like it. You are gonna like it.
It already sounds like my kind of movie, and I definitely want to get back into reading New Mutants. Yeah, because like I said, I haven't read it in years, so I barely remember anything about it.
Yeah, I think you're gonna like it, and it feels different. It just feels so different from any other X-Men movie we got. And I think I give Fox the credit for this. Is they're doing like they did Deadpool, like they did Logan. They're gonna do different tones with their X-Men properties. We'll see how it goes. But I just thought I'd throw that in there because that's why I asked you when you were at work that one day. I'm like, did you see that trailer?
I recently kind of analyzed the X-Men movies as standalone movies. They are really good movies.
Yeah.
Even X-Men Last Stand.
Yeah. People give X-Men Last Stand a flack, but it's not saying that it's not bad. It just didn't live up to the expectation we were supposed to get.
Yeah.
For one, Bryan Singer didn't come back.
Right, it had a very different feel because Brett Ratner directed.
It looks different.
Yeah, it's very colorful.
Yo.
The colors are so saturated.
Help that Beast is hella blue, but he brings out his blue. Not saying that it's colorful. It just seemed it seemed kind of bleak. When I was watching, it felt bleak when I was watching. But bringing Beast in, it felt he brightened up the whole room. I was certain scenes.
Yeah.
But it just X-Men 3. I recently did watch it too, and not saying and people say it's bad.
Yeah.
Origins is bad.
We gotta do a video on that. Like superhero movies that people consider bad. Or actually
that'll be in the future.
Yeah.
We'll talk.
We gotta do that.
Since we'll do it after Thor and Justice League because those will be the next Superman movie to talk about. Because regardless of how much people are gonna hate Justice League, I know it.
Well,
there's gonna be some haters.
I've already.
So we're gonna talk about it.
Yeah, because there are people trashing the movie already, and it's not even out yet. It's like, come on, man. At least watch the movie before you.
Because that is a good conversation. Because it's more of the earlier Marvel movies people get flack on other than now.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about that.
But I get those early in Marvel fanboys' eyes. Those earlier Marvel movies don't exist. Like they don't even mention those. It's all about the MCU.
And I don't understand why. Because if we didn't have those movies, we wouldn't have the MCU.
Right.
Especially going to the very first Spider-Man. If we didn't have the first Spider-Man, the first X-Men, we wouldn't have.
Right. If they didn't, that's the thing. The only movies that they really acknowledge are the Spider-Man movies. You don't hear anybody talking about the Fantastic Four movies or Blade or Daredevil or Punisher. Like
even the first Punisher with Thomas Jane is pretty good. It's pretty good if you watch it as its own thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not that bad. It's not that bad. It could be a little bit more than what. That's why I'm ready for the TV series. I think the TV series is gonna be more. It's gonna be better, obviously, because they have more time to tell the story. But if you watch the first Punisher, it's not that bad. It's not that bad at all. especially the director's cut is better. Especially with the Daredevil director's cut is better too, in my opinion.
But we'll do that deal.
Well,
I honestly want to do that video right after this one, but
I'd rather us write stuff down and do notes on stuff like that. 'Cause that's more of an analysis right there.
Right.
Going with the next news I want to talk about, Sylvester Stallone is going to be directing Creed 2.
Really?
Yes. He's going to be directing Creed 2 and starring in it, so I'm excited about that.
You know what? I'm excited about him directing it. They need to let Rocky die.
He's not going to die. He's not going to die.
He's almost died twice.
If anything, he'll probably, if he does die, it'll be in the beginning of this movie. He'll probably pass away in the beginning of this movie.
Think they're going to do like the Apollo Creed joint and where he dies in the beginning of the movie?
Not saying.
I mean, not fighting, obviously, but
I think because he was sick in the last movie. He was sick in the last movie, but he overcame it, didn't he? He got better. Did he get better or no? I don't remember getting better, but let's say in the beginning of Creed 2, he gets
because he had I don't know if it went in remission or not. But
I think he's gonna pass away in the beginning because that will be. I don't even know what his son's name is. What's Michael B. Jordan's character name in Creed 2? Or in Creed, what's his name? Adonis. Okay, Adonis will probably be his fight to when Sylvester Stallone dies. You know,
they should have had him die in the last one. I love Creed. I love that movie. That's one of my favorite Rocky movies actually. But they really should have let Sylvester Stallone die in that movie because his arc is over.
Yeah,
like
his arc been over.
His arc been over
since Rocky Balboa. Rocky Balboa is, in my opinion, probably the third best next to Rocky 2. Rocky 1, 2.
Yeah.
Rocky Balboa is a very underrated Rocky movie.
Yeah, I like Rocky 2, Creed, Rocky Balboa, Rocky 3. Those are like my four favorites.
Yeah, but I don't count Creed as a part of Rocky. I count that as this new franchise. This is starting of a new
Creed
franchise.
Yeah.
So, but if you want to put that in, I'll put Rocky 2, 1, Creed. Yeah, just like how you did that. Rocky 2, 1, Creed, and Balboa. Mm-hmm. Then all the other ones come last. I agree with you. I think he should have died in the first one. But I think he will die in the second one. I think he will die since he is going to be directing.
Like I said, if
he's going to be directing, he won't have no time to be in it as much.
Yeah, it's going to make me mad if he doesn't die because like I said, we've chronicled his entire life. Yeah. What else is there for him to do but die?
He was about to die.
You know what I mean? Like
I just want to throw it out there. I like you said, I enjoy Creed. I didn't think I was going to like it because I thought, it's overhyped. It's overhyped. Man, it's not as good as everybody say. Michael B. Jordan knocks it out of the park, literally. And Sylvester Stallone knocks it out of the park. Obviously, I'm glad he was nominated for an Oscar. I wish Michael B. Jordan would have been nominated for an Oscar. I'm excited for Creed 2, and hopefully it. Not saying it because Creed basically did the exact same thing Force Awakens did. It did the same kind of trope like Rocky.
Exactly.
But
it was Rocky just with a black guy.
Right. And then with this, let's just flip it on his head. Let's just flip it on his head and do something different. I just want to throw it out there. Next, I want to talk about this because I'm very excited about this. Batman the Animated Series, the complete collection, yo. All 4 volumes will be coming out on Blu-ray. They haven't given us a release date of it, but New York Comic Con is going on. They released it with the Batman panel. And I'm very excited about that, man. I remember I was just talking about that, man.
So excited. We was talking about it maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago.
Yeah, it's the 25th anniversary.
Yeah.
So.
Batman TAS is hands down the best animated series ever. I can't think of an animated series better than that one. That series changed the game. Especially for superhero animated series.
If it wasn't for Batman, we wouldn't have X-Men, we wouldn't have Spider-Man, we wouldn't have all these superhero shows we have today, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. This one made it more darker. You get it. That's the one thing about this. It felt like an adult show, but kids can watch it.
Right.
I watch it as an adult, and I feel like it's supposed to be something I'm watching.
It took itself very seriously, but not to the point where it felt melodramatic.
Right.
It took itself seriously enough that it felt grounded and it felt pragmatic, but it didn't feel oversaturated with drama, and that's that's hard to do in a cartoon because you either you on one end of the spectrum or the other, either you campy and corny or you melodramatic. This was right there in the middle.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. Obviously, I'm gonna buy it. If it's for $100, I'm gonna buy it even harder.
Oh yeah, I'm buying it.
Because I remember when what made me buy them on DVD was I was watching somebody's top 10. I said, man, I love the fuck out of that shit. Why don't I own it? I'm like, why don't I own it? So I just bought them all on Amazon. I didn't pay that much for them on Amazon. I bought them used as well.
What's your favorite episode?
My favorite episode probably has to be the Two-Face episode.
The two-part?
Yeah, the two-part Two-Face episode. I go back and watch that episode every time. Just a dynamic, but why I liked it because we already knew Harvey Dent before he became Two-Face. Yeah. So it kind of makes you feel bad for this character that was already good friends with Bruce Wayne. Yeah. And then he became this villain that Bruce Wayne kind of caused a little bit. Batman kind of caused a little bit.
I have three actually. Two of the three are actually two-parters, so they're 4 episodes. In no particular order is the Two-Face two-parter, Heart of Ice.
That's a good. That's a two-parter.
I think that's a two-parter.
It's not a two-parter. That's one episode. That's one episode.
I could have sworn it was two-parter.
You sure? I think that's one episode.
All right,
I think Heart of Ice is one episode. But that's an excellent episode. That's an amazing episode.
And
that's an Oscar-nominated episode. Yeah. It could be nominated for an Oscar. Shit.
And Almost Got Him.
Almost Got Him's a good one too.
Oh no!
Trial was a good one.
Almost, yeah, that one. Perchance to Dream.
Oh, that's the one with he's
the Mad Hatter.
Yeah, well, someone else being Batman, he got.
Yeah, he's like, what is going on?
That's a good episode.
And it's showing him what his life could be if he were just.
I love to see that he goes off on his parents like, you're all a lie, you're all a lie. He just runs away like, and then there's a scene where he can't read. You can't read. You know, in dreams you can't read.
That's kind of inaccurate because I've read it in my dreams before.
I haven't read it in my dreams. I haven't read it in my dreams. Fuck that.
I mean, unless it's just me recognizing words.
Yeah.
That I've already seen, but because I had a dream. Right after I watched that episode, maybe like 2 or 3 days after I watched that episode, I had a dream and I was reading in a dream. I was like, "That's inaccurate."
I guess it probably depends on the person.
Actually, right.
But that's a good episode as well. That's a very good episode. Over the Edge is a good episode. It's basically spoiler alert. It's a whole dream. It's not actually happening. Everything that happens in the episode is a dream.
What is the name of the episode? Not Robin's Reckoning.
That's a good one too, though.
It's a Robin episode. It's how he became Nightwing. I can't remember the name of the episode, but it's a really good episode because it was in the 4th season.
Yeah, that's the. I got that one. That's in the Brown case, right?
Yeah. Because
I don't even remember.
What's his face? Tim was asking him like, "What happened? Like, how did you become?"
Oh yeah, it basically like a flashback.
Yeah, it's a flashback episode.
I don't even remember that episode.
It's good because he's telling them the story on a rooftop. It's a really good episode. What's another one? If you're so smart, why aren't you rich? That's a good one.
I don't know. I like the one with the clock, dude. What's that?
Clock King.
Yeah, I like that one. That was a pretty good episode too.
I like the one with the Grey Ghost.
Grey Ghost.
That was. I think they paid homage to Adam West on that one.
Yep. Rest in peace. And I love that they didn't like make fun of that because obviously it's 2 Batmans in the same show, but it's kind of like that because he's playing a very old superhero basically in the 50s. You know, and he's
would you say that Batman, the animated series, is the definitive version of Batman?
Yes, he's my definitive version.
I thought that for years.
How would you say that?
What changed my mind was the Arkham games as a whole.
You mean like, so you make that your definitive Batman as the Arkham games?
The Arkham games.
So you're talking about all medium.
Yeah, all medium. So film, television.
It's hard to say because one is played by the same person. So I kind of put them in the same category, but not really. They're not the same. It's not the same universe, obviously.
See, the thing is, you guys.
The reason why I say that is because Arkham is more. It feels more realistic, but not realistic. More brutal, but not that brutal.
That's it. That's exactly why I think it's the definitive version, because you get a over the course of the series you get.
I was gonna buy Arkham Knight for Xbox too. I was gonna rebuy it for like $20 at Target. I was gonna buy it too, man, because I wanted to replay it.
You should.
I should
have brought it.
Yeah. Man, damn. We ain't think about that. Let's see how
I should have brought it. Well, over the course of the entire series, you get to use everything in his arsenal. You get to use all of his gadgets.
Yeah. We
have never seen that before.
No.
Not even in the animated series have we seen him use all of his gadgets. And because it's a video game, it immerses you into being Batman, especially with Arkham Knight.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite out of those games is Arkham City, just because the story is fantastic. Like that story needs to be a movie, just with minor changes, just to make it feel not so convoluted.
Mm-hmm.
But that story is fantastic. But like I said, the Arkham games are to me the only medium that completely immerses you in the Batman mythos. Because you get different perspectives from each medium.
Mm-hmm.
With Arkham, you get all perspectives.
Mm-hmm. I can give you that one. I have to rethink that. Cause I would say, just because I was very young, like I saw the first Batman movie and Batman Returns, I was young too. But the animated series was really that was like, that's my Batman. That's my Batman. I wanted the toys, I wanted the car, I wanted all the Batman animated series stuff besides the movie stuff. I wanted the animated series stuff before.
And that the animated series was my definitive version for years, up until recently, up until like 2 or 3 months ago, when I was playing the Arkham games again. I was like, I've never seen a complete Batman outside of this medium. Batman the animated series comes close. And when I say animated series, I include Justice League, because they all take place in the same universe. But that is definitely my definitive version.
I have to rethink it. Cause you definitely right, and I definitely want to play Arkham Knight now. I think I'm gonna have to go buy it.
Dude, if they had made Arkham City with Arkham Knight's graphics, like, oh my god.
So Arkham City don't really, with the Return of Arkham, it don't seem no different. It's still the same.
Well, I mean, it's different technology, so it can only look so much better.
Right. I'm sorry that I have a PS4, but I can't play it.
Dang, cause oh man.
I have to buy a PS4 to play it.
The biggest difference is the frame rate.
Right.
The frame, everything moves smoother.
It's not
especially
30, 60. Is that 60 or is it 30?
It's 60.
60, okay.
Especially in Arkham Asylum, that's the biggest difference.
Yeah, definitely. I did some live streams on that game, on the first Arkham.
Yeah, because Arkham Asylum,
I'm upset I didn't finish it. I'm so upset.
Yeah, Arkham Asylum came out in the early days of the 360 PS3 era, and we know with Arkham City coming out a little bit later, so the graphics are a little bit better between Arkham Asylum and Arkham City. But it's not a huge difference as far as the remaster, because like I said, it's different technology, so it's gonna look dated in a sense. Because it's not like Crash Bandicoot where they completely remade the game.
They really did that.
With Crash
that's different.
With Crash Bandicoot, they started from scratch.
That's different.
They made the same game with better technology.
That's different.
With the Arkham remasters,
they just updated.
They
didn't redo the whole game. They're not gonna do that with those type of games. So, is that it? That's all we want to talk about today? I think that's it we want to talk about today. We got some other stuff coming in the future. We are gonna do that conversation about what superhero movies are.
Definitely.
That people say are bad, but they have good elements to it. They are enjoyable. So we probably will talk about that in the next live stream. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope I'm still alive.
Yeah, we gonna still be alive. You plan on dying?
No, I said hopefully we're alive right now.
Oh, I'm like, what?
I said hopefully we are live right now.
Oh, I'm like, what?
I said check to see me live on YouTube.
My phone died.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, because I went to go check like 5 minutes ago.
No, so hopefully we're still live. Hope you guys enjoyed this stream. Go ahead and hit the like button. Please check out my channel in the description below. I'll put the link to his. You still do YouTube? You still put YouTube? Or you just do SoundCloud now?
I barely do YouTube, but I'm definitely gonna start doing it more. I just, a lot of stuff started happening. I got married, started a new job, so it's a lot of just life. But now that things are settling, I can get back on my grind.
It's my boy John. Alex signing out. Hope you guys enjoyed this nerd talk. Check you in the next one. We out on this one, you guys. Peace. My phone died too. No, we still live too.
We live, dude.
Yes.